Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's Mill Creek Crossing Connection brought to you by Dan Dolan of Dan Dolan Homes. And today we have Dwight Wheelan in with us in the studio. And, well, good morning, Dwight.
Good morning. It is a nice morning.
Yeah, beautiful day out there. If you get a few moments to take a trip out toward Mill Creek Crossing Way, what will folks see?
Oh, if they go up Connor Court, they're going to see a big hole in the ground with concrete forms setting up. I expect they'll probably pour the walls tomorrow.
Okay.
I've been working yesterday afternoon and this morning getting the forms up, so we're making progress. That home is designed to be the typical ranch-style home that Dan builds, but it will have 3 bedrooms on the main level, which is a change from what the people are used to seeing. So as it progresses, come out and see how the construction looks. And I always encourage people to come see how it's insulated. Those houses are so comfortable, so warm in the winter and easy to cool in the summertime. And also, if somebody wants to talk to Dan about buying it, they can have some input to how the inside is finished. They can pick out the fixtures and the paint colors and things like that, and have quite a bit of input as it's being finished.
Wow. I know we've talked about that before, and it's great to mention it once again that you can get in on basically the ground floor and have the opportunity to get that input. And, some people might just say, hey, I like the floor plan or however the way Dan builds it and don't change a thing. But there may be other people that would really like to get their 2 cents in on it, and now's the time to do that.
You bet. And the women particularly want to have a lot of say in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
And in the new models, Dan has put a pantry right in the kitchen, which is a great idea, and it's a very sizable pantry too. But it will have an island with the island designs with an overhang so people can put some bar stools there and eat right at the island. The garbage disposal and microwave are there, so a person doesn't have to, redesign the whole thing, but they can have some idea about the color of the backsplash board and things like that. And the women like to design things the way they feel comfortable, and you can't blame them because that's where they spend a lot of time.
Absolutely. And of course, when you figure you're moving from an existing home, maybe some of these folks have lived in those homes for 20, 30, 40 years, that they don't want to move into a home that's just completely foreign to them without at least having a little touch that they've inputted in.
That's right. And if they move from a home that they've lived in 20, 30, or 40 years, they're going to be surprised at their utility bill. Well, I hear that over and over again. When I tell them what my utility bill runs, well, mine's twice or 3 times that. So that speaks for itself as to how the construction is in the houses. And also, it'll be a 3-car garage, which the men like. There's room there for a lot of junk or a lot of antiques and things like that. If somebody says, hey, I need an office, we've actually built an office out of part of the 3rd stall in the garage. Or it's deep enough that they can actually put up a wall and make a bedroom out of it. So there's an awful lot of uses for that 3rd stall if they don't need it. And I've had some guys tell me, well, I've got an old tractor I wouldn't want to sell when I move to town. He wants to park it in that 3-car stall. So there's a lot of uses for that too. And the imagination can just tell you a whole lot of things of how you can design and use the home and the space that you get.
The thing that just pops into my mind, it would be great for a workspace where you put all your tools and you have a table and you can, do all of your little, work stuff, what's the word? Hobbies, I guess
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of. Yeah.
We had one fellow, and it never did develop, but he wanted a wall put up on the third stall so he could do exactly that. We built a house for Dave Johnson, who, was the shop or the house building teacher here for years.
Oh, sure.
And
yeah.
he wanted that third stall because he still did a lot of woodwork. And he had all of his equipment in there, all of his lumber, and that's where Dave spent a lot of his time. So you're right. That'd be a good place to just go pound and saw things up and make your own thing.
And the thing is, you talk about a big 3-car garage, and you don't need it to store a lawnmower or a snowblower, do you?
No, I've got a 2-car garage, and I can get 2 cars in it because I don't have a snowblower and a lawnmower and an edger and all the stuff that goes with it. Because for $65 a month, the lawn is mowed. The snow is removed if it snows more than an inch. And that is a bargain in anybody's lawn. If they're paying for lawn care now, they're going to be surprised at that, because that includes the weed control, the fertilizer, and all those things. So it's a complete lawn service for $65 a month.
And that has not changed in 15 years or longer, has it?
No, it started, I think it was '09 when Dan actually started that subdivision. And that's what he had written in the original covenants, and that's what it still is. And there's been enough houses built each year to pick up new people to pay the $65 a month that it hasn't been necessary. And we have a good board of directors who, I guess, negotiate a good deal because they always have somebody to take care of us.
And of course, you mentioned savings on the utility bills. Well, next week, I know it's supposed to get up in the 90s and be hot, but you don't care because in your home, it's very comfortable.
That's right. I can show people my light bill since we moved in July of '11. And it was so much better than we used to pay. And plus the comfort. I've lived in houses where you could see the curtains flying. We don't do that in a Dolan home because of the windows that Dan puts in. So drive out, take a ride and drive out and turn up Connor Court and watch the progress. I think tomorrow there'll probably be concrete trucks running all over, so be careful when you come out.
And of course, is the model home still available to check out?
Yes, 1618 is still open, and that'll give you some idea of the kitchen and things like that, how it'll be designed in the new home. So they're welcome. Mary is there Tuesday through Saturday from 11 to 1. If somebody wants to see it in the evening or later in the day, they can contact Mary or get a hold of me, and we'll have the house open and they can walk through.
All right. Well, sounds good, Dwight. We thank you for stopping in and being our guest today on today's Mill Creek Crossing. That is today's Mill Creek Crossing Connection. Listen every Wednesday morning this time here on KROS, brought to you by Dan Dolan and Dan Dolan Homes.